Hi, hey, and hello. And depending on when you are hearing this, good morning, good evening, and good night. Jim Stroud here, and I am back on the podcast scene once again. It's been a while, a long while since I've been here on my own podcast, but the prodigal has returned. And I can't help but wonder, do I still have what it takes to make an engaging podcast? Let's find out together. ChatGPT has taken the world by storm, captivating people with its abilities and leaving many wondering about its impact on their careers. From screening resumes and candidates to ideating interview questions and customizing job descriptions, ChatGPT can accomplish several routine recruitment tasks in mere seconds. This raises concerns for recruiters who worry that ChatGPT may eventually replace them. However, for me, the answer is clear. ChatGPT will never replace recruiters. I'll give you 4 reasons why I can say that with confidence right after this.
What would you say you do here?
I generate demand for HR tech companies with awesome content. This includes, but is not limited to, videos, podcasts, webinars, and articles. I produce the content, share the content with over 50,000 of my social media followers, and then I track the amount of traffic and prospects driven to your website. Any questions? If so, email me and let's talk. My email address is easy to remember. It's jimstroud@jimstroud.com. That's JIMSTROUD @jimstroud.com. Operators are standing by. First and foremost, recruiting is about building relationships. A recruiter's job is to connect with potential candidates, learn about their experience, skills, and aspirations, and then match them with the right job opportunities. This requires a personal touch that AI simply cannot replicate. ChatGPT may be able to answer common questions and provide information, but it can't build rapport or establish trust with candidates in the same way a human recruiter can. Secondly, recruiting is a complex process that involves multiple stakeholders. A good recruiter needs to be able to work with hiring managers, HR departments, clients, and other decision makers to identify the right candidates and bring them on board. ChatGPT may be able to help with some of the administrative tasks involved in recruiting, but it cannot manage relationships with stakeholders or navigate complex organizational structures. Thirdly, recruiting is about understanding the nuances of the job market and the needs of different industries and companies. While ChatGPT can be trained on a wide range of topics, it cannot replace the expertise and experience of a seasoned recruiter who has worked in a particular industry or field. Recruiters bring a wealth of knowledge and insights to the table that simply cannot be replicated by AI. And finally, recruiting is about empathy and emotional intelligence. A good recruiter needs to be able to understand the needs and desires of candidates and help guide them through the recruiting process. They need to be able to provide support and encouragement as well as feedback and constructive criticism. ChatGPT may be able to provide some level of emotional support, who knows, but it simply cannot replace the human touch that is essential to successful recruiting and the business in general for that matter. So I would say in conclusion, ChatGPT may be a useful tool for recruiters, but it cannot replace humanity or human recruiters. Recruiting is a complex relationship-driven process that requires empathy, emotional intelligence, and expertise, and that can't be replicated. Simply can't be replicated by AI. While recruiters may need to adapt to new technologies and ways of working, the human element will always be an essential part of the recruiting process. And just because just because I can't resist sharing this. Remember when Amazon began experimenting with cashierless stores? Back in 2018, Amazon launched its first cashier-free store, Amazon Go, in Seattle in 2018. Many predicted that it would lead to the decimation of the need for workers in retail stores, at least the cashiers, customer service type folks. The idea of a store without cashiers sounded futuristic. It seemed like a natural progression of the technological advancements that had already led to the automation of many jobs. The concept was simple. Customers would use their smartphones to enter the store. Cameras and sensors would track their movements and the items they picked up, and they would be automatically charged for their purchases as they left the store. The technology promised to eliminate the need for cashiers and improve efficiency by reducing waiting times and errors. I've been in one of these stores, actually. I was at the National Retail Federation conference earlier this year, and I saw one in action. And it was kind of a weird experience. I kept thinking, okay, security is going to have to be a big concern. I can just imagine a bunch of people running in here, snatching stuff and running out. So there's that. But I'm sure Amazon thought of that and took some sort of precautions on that. But I digress. You fast forward to today, and Amazon is closing several of their Amazon stores. I think 8 of them. Not all of them. I think they have like 30 plus cashierless stores, I think, in the country. But they closed down 8 of them. And the reason behind the closure of the Amazon Go stores is not entirely clear, but it is speculated that the stores may not have been as profitable, or that Amazon is simply shifting its focus to other areas of the business. Why am I mentioning this? Well, fundamentally, the purpose of technology is to enhance human performance. Humans play a crucial role, and disregarding their significance in business can have dire consequences. I'm curious, have I missed the reason why ChatGPT would never replace recruiters in my little rant here? If so, let me know. But until then, let me recount a couple of comments that I received online, because I wrote articles on this recently, and let me quote to you some of the comments there, because I think they were quite interesting. I produce a comic strip and newsletter called The Recruiting Life, and in issue number 13, I wrote an article called No, ChatGPT Will Not Replace Recruiters, This Is Why. And in that piece, I've gave the reasons I shared in this podcast, along with the history of other technologies that people thought at the time would eliminate the need for human workers, but it didn't quite work out that way. For example, I talked about, ATMs eliminating the need for all tellers. And of course, tellers did not leave the banking industry. They just sort of shifted their duties to do other things. But I digress. Here are some of the comments received on that article. I have it here in front of me. Let me sort of scroll through and cherry pick the ones that I liked best. How's that for transparency? Okay, so here is one from Jean-Francois. He says, AI may process existing information quasi-magically, but all jobs that depend on human-to-human emotional connection will never disappear. I quite agree. Thank you, sir. Here's another quote from someone from Jawad. He says, well explained. The historical pattern is definitely proof that innovation merely redefines your role rather than replace you. Very, very good. I certainly agree with you. And my favorite comment is from a guy named Johnny. And he says, no AI can replace Jim Stroud. Never. Great read, and thanks for sharing. Can you guess why that's my favorite comment? Thank you so much. And if you have not subscribed to The Recruiting Life, please check the link in the podcast description and join in all the fun. Lots of articles like this, certainly comics as well, and surprises, because you never know what will pop up in The Recruiting Life. So if you have not already, please subscribe. Again, link is in the podcast description. Well, my time is up. I thank you for yours. I'll see you again real soon right here with a brand new episode of the Jim Stroud Podcast. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to reach out to me. I can be reached by email at jimstroud@jimstroud.com. And one last favor, if I may ask, please rate this podcast. 5 stars is preferred, but please comment with your honest opinion. I really appreciate that. All right? Okay, until next time, bye-bye.